I hoped everyone survived the wicked correction we had in the market. Made a new all-time high, gave some back, but you know what? We're right back up. May even make a new all-time closing high today. Boy, we got some big movers, and I'm talking about really big movers out of this world with satellite stocks here. What else are we going to cover? Not much earnings, no economic data. Who knows what's going on with the government? 8:35, Scott Devitt is going to join us. He's going to talk about some of the mega cap, big cap tech stocks that we all love and follow. Let's get it started here on Pre-Market Prep.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. This is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Okay, little bounce overnight. We'll see if it holds up almost 11 handles above 66.72 on the buck. Are we concerned about the move in the dollar? Nah, up 26 cents, 98.55. TLT catching a bounce here after a little bit of a sell-off of 48 cents, 89.66. Gold, so let's go to silver. Nope, let's go to the USO, up 41 cents, 73.61, coming down to that trading range area at 72. GLD busting out here, up 371, $5.42. Silver SLV, that's doing a lot better, up $1.08 at 44.48. Bitcoin gave a little back yesterday, climbing right back today, up $1,250 at 123,610. There's a rundown commodities and futures. And Triple D wants to talk about adjusting trading strategies, right? And sometimes you get on a roll with different trading strategies and you stick with them, you stick with them, you stick with them. Sometimes you got to make adjustments here. Dennis, what adjustments are you making?
None. Same way I've been trading for the last 6 months. Blindly buy the dip, win money. That is what it is. We've figured out, I published last night the official playbook of 2025. You can post it here, Brentster, if you want. The official playbook of 2025. This is your cheat sheet. This is all you need. Good news equals buy. Bad news equals buy the dip. That is all you need, folks. This is what continues to work in this relentless bull market. They go down. SEC investigation on AppLovin. We don't care about that. We buy the dip. Good news, though. These stocks that go up, they keep going up. A lot of them keep going up. So anyways, good news, buy. Bad news, buy the dip. That's where we're at until further notice. You tried to be a little bit bearish yesterday morning. I was like, maybe just this time it's different. We're getting a little bit of a rug pull. S&P just fell 30, 40 handles. I was like, okay, now let's have some fun. Oh, no, they just come in and buy the dip, of course. So buy them right back up. That's your cheat sheet. That's all you need. That's where we're at. Buy the dip just keeps winning.
So off the open, we did have a pop off the open. So are you talking when you were looking right at that boom 9:30 opening going in because we did have a nice pop, or were you talking about after we rolled over trying to get a
sell off? Yeah, we were 673. We lost over 55 handles in about an hour right after the open. Looks like it might be the start of something. Maybe the bears got a case. Nah. They're just coming in and buying the dip again. This is bears just, go back to your caves. Sorry to get y'all excited that you actually might get a trading market now. Now we're back to just buy the dip. I mean, I just look at, everybody just posting their, profits. Everybody's got a post on Twitter that they made millions and millions and millions of dollars, doubling or buying call options. One guy, apparently AMD, bought 220 calls before the news there on, it would be Wednesday, 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And took it from 10,000 to 10 million. Apparently, that's what's going around on Twitter. That's what's on my feed. $10,000 in options became 10 million. I guess if you think the news comes out of the blue, those 220 calls were probably going for like 2 cents. So they probably went for $5 or $10. So I guess, or maybe more than that. So that makes sense. But it just shows you like the pure gambling that's going on in the option market here too. Like how many times you buy those 220 calls when the stock's at 160, it's got 3 days to expiration and they go off the board worthless. You know, not 9,999 times out of 10,000 probably. But, you know, this is the market. That's giving you opportunities here. So we continue. So the party continues. So, I mean, no sense worrying about it. No sense, you know, if you're missing out FOMO style. I mean, dip buying is prevalent. That's what's happening here. So you get dips, they buy stocks.
All right. Well, that's it. That's it for the show.
That's a show. That's a show. Yep. Thanks for joining us here. No. Don't leave anywhere here. So let's go to our stupid move of the day last night. Alphaton Capital, ATON. We'll show you charts here, Joel. ATON. Stock goes from $5 last night. Nothing happening. Nobody even knows who this company is. And then they get some, I don't even know, some tokenization for cancer drug program. They explore tokenization for cancer drug. Exploring tokenization. Well, that's a good words to put in media releases. See, Brentster knows. You know, we're in this fluffy, like, you know, figure it out. So Brentster, if you're, you know, let's talk to all the PR of all the, you know, small micro of the garbage stocks out there that are doing nothing. Then what are the main words they need to put in their press releases now? Tokenization sounds pretty good. That's a good one.
I mean, I'd say number one.
NVIDIA. Here we go. I got another
Blackwell.
That's a good one. But listen to this one. So PUBM. This is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at. Just breaking at 8 o'clock. PubMatic integrates NVIDIA technology for faster ad processing. PUBM. Bring it up. Stock just popped from $8.27 up to $9.50. Do you know what that headline really means? That means they bought some NVIDIA chips. Oh my gosh! Buy the stock up 15% immediately. The algos immediately. So we bought an NVIDIA chip. Go put that in the headline. NVIDIA integrates, or PubMatic integrates NVIDIA technology for faster ad processing. This is just a pure, like, let's make our stock go up headline. That's all that is.
I'm sorry to say, PubMatic, fluffy headline.
Fluffy.
But that's what they wanted. I think that's what they wanted.
That's all. The whole intention of it. They probably went and bought an NVIDIA chip just for that reason.
Should we buy NVIDIA chips?
Yes. If we at Stock Trader Network publish a headline, Stock Trader Network integrates NVIDIA technology for faster stock trading, our stock, if it was public, would go from 5 to 50 on that. Yeah, that's where we're at. This is where we're at. This is the market, folks. This is just an incredible market right now. Like, they just buy no matter what. Anything. So again, let's go through the fluffy words because we're giving you tokenization, good for ATON. Integrate NVIDIA technology. That is just fancy words for we bought some NVIDIA chips. But integrate NVIDIA technology, boom, algos say, thank you very much. We're going higher. Let's go. So NVIDIA, like Blackwell, like you said, tokenization, anything to do with Bitcoin. You know, give us the other words here, man, because these, you know, these stocks are just ripping, roaring, and rallying on anything fluffy now. That's what they're into. But that ATON move last night, we were looking at that live SDN room. I did not trade it, but it went from 5 to what, like 25, and then back to like 9, and now back to 17. These moves are astounding. This is real money moving around like this. This is crazy.
24.40. 24.40.
Yeah. Dennis, what do you think about data center infrastructure? Is that a good
one?
That
sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good words too. Yeah, write all these down. We can, you know, like go say to all these companies, this is what you got to say in your press releases because this is where we're at. We are in the full pump market. This is like, you know, you've got pumpers all over social media pumping their stocks. You've got companies pumping their stocks. You've got just the full pump is on. We say not pump and dump because we don't know if anybody's dumping into this, but the pumps are on. I mean, pumping. Eric Jackson was pumping a new stock yesterday. What stock was that? Do you remember? He had a new pick yesterday, and it really ran.
Look.
I forget what it was. I already forget. You guys all follow Eric. Eric was a nice guy. He's a nice guy. But, you know, he's definitely doing a little bit of pumping here lately. said he had a new position in something, and it went up like 50%. Because he's got open, better. There's another new one. I already forget it now. Come on, help us out here, chat. You guys follow Eric Jackson. What's the new Eric Jackson
Wait, now
stock?
you got to help me with this. Pioneering Digital Asset Oncology Initiative.
What?
Who's
what's
that?
Adam?
Aton?
Yeah. What
they
is
make
that?
the word sound fancy.
What is that, though?
I don't know. Does anybody know? It just sounds good.
What? Hold on, Joel. Why do you need to know?
Announcing plans to evaluate tokenizations of its mesothelioma
They made it sound
treatment
good.
program,
Give a raise to the PR team.
combining blockchain technology with cancer therapeutics.
They did not put blockchain in there too, did
They
they?
did. They did.
Good.
Oh, they hit them all.
Let me see.
Oh, the only one they missed was using NVIDIA chips.
Dennis, I mean, this is where, yes.
Tokenizing cancer by using blockchain technology with NVIDIA chips. That's what they just missed the with NVIDIA chips part. And that would have been unbelievable.
Brent, how do you pronounce that?
Mesothelioma.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Look at this comment. Where did it go? Hold on.
The stock yesterday, the Eric Jackson stock, was BTQ. His new one is BTQ. The stock went from when he mentioned it from $9, or actually I think it was $10 up to $14.38 yesterday. So another big pop. That Eric Jackson is hot right now. Just crazy moves though. I mean, crazy moves. Oh, NVIDIA CEO is on CNBC. He won't move his stock though. You know why? It's too big. And he actually was complaining. The funny thing was, oh my gosh, NVIDIA interview yesterday with it was I don't think it was Kramer interviewing, but somebody was in a CNBC interview with Jensen Huang yesterday, and he says, we, come on and, have an event or say something, our stock goes down. We talk about our technology and our stock goes down. If some other company talks about our technology, the stock goes flying high. He said that yesterday.
did he?
He actually said that. And he was complaining about it. He's like, so we have the technology, but everybody else is making the money off it because they just mention our technology and the stock goes up. He actually said that yesterday. He was complaining about the pumps off his technology. Then they Pumpmatic just did it this morning. Welcome to the pump market, folks. It is a crazy time to be alive in the stock market world, but you can't fight it. Bull markets, stop trying to short and tell. You look like a reason too short. Thought yesterday morning might be that reason, but they're buying the dip again. So who knows? Buy the dip though, just continues to work. That's it. Joel's sign. He doesn't know what else to say because I just summed up the whole market so well. Okay, well, let's go into other movers here of the day. ASTS does an offering, like announces an offering.
Yesterday.
Yes, yesterday morning. The stock falls $5 from like 74 down to 68. We're like saying the dip's probably going to get bought because that is what they do. Well, they not only bought the dip yesterday, they bought it to new highs, and now they get a Verizon contract here. And the stock is up now 15 points from yesterday morning. They haven't even announced the bloody offering price yet, I don't think.
No.
So it doesn't matter. They got a new deal, and they buy the dip, and the story is hot. Everybody's, rocket, mode here. Rocket Labs is moving up. They announced a new launch or something last night too. They go up as well. Every time you announce a little bit of a little piece of new information, the algos just explode it. Why does this happen? Because it's all algorithmic driven. The algos are just looking for anything, a new contract, they buy on that. So if you're one of these companies, you just slowly put out a contract, put out another little contract, and your stock goes up and up and up and up and up. They're just, almost manipulative to the algos here. They can be now. The way they release the information. They can release it in stages. And the stocks can just continue to go up and up and up on basically all the same news. It's incredible. It's an incredible market. Like full on 1999 in a lot of stocks. Full on 1999. Party like it's 1999. Get your prints out. DJ Brentster will, let you go. Party like it's 1999 because that's where we're at. 1999 was a lot of fun. 2000 wasn't any fun, but man, was 1999 fun.
I'm looking to see how big this contract is here.
Does it matter? Do they even publish it?
Yes, because I'm to develop a new algorithm that, based on the size of the contract, how much the stock can go up.
It's too much analysis for the algos. They don't care about that. They just see a contract. The number of the
All right,
contract
I'm not,
is
enough.
You're using
Enough
logic.
Enough
You
with
can't
this
use logic in an
nonstop
illogical market.
bullishness. Gosh, you're making me sick to my stomach. You
Joe
are.
wants to
Just
sell everything.
stop with it. Stop with the bullishness already. We're here
Am
to
I
be
bullish? I'm kind of
you're
I'm just calling what the market is.
This
I
is.
want to be bearish. I want a real
You
market.
should be bearish. You should
Well,
be. We
I
got a
tried to be
warning
bearish
shot
morning. I tweeted out rug
A
pull, and then
key
they just buy the
reversal
stocks
in the
back up.
S&Ps. We made a new all-time high, Dennis, and we got a triple top.
It's still
and
there,
we sold
Joel.
off, and it's by Dennis's whole number, or not Dennis, Brent whole number of 6,800. He's been calling that. When 6,600 was the top, he said 6,600 is the top. When it went to 6,700, he said, well, maybe 6,700. Well, no, now it's 6,800. We're eventually going to stop at 67, 68, 69, maybe 7,000, maybe lucky 7. But we got some serious headwinds here. So quit, get off that bull train.
Start shorting stocks. Make shorting great again. Get on there. I know. Every time I short a stock in the last, it's like 5 days. Like, a shorting has been working because we've been chopping around. But I tell you, in the last 5 days, it is so consistent. All of my longs make money and all of my shorts lose money, like 100%. Like over the weekend, it was 100%. I've never seen that before. I had like overnight trades. I had like 30 longs and like 4 or 5 shorts only, and they were mostly ETFs, but there was a couple other ones in there too. And it was like every single long was up and every single short was down. It's like, that's where we're at. And it's because I'm picking on tech, but I mean, it's over the weekend. They buy those stocks. But it's like we used to have some rotation and stuff. Like, and there is rotation, but even within tech. But we're just at this market here that's just relentlessly buying no matter what. So maybe this is the top. Maybe this is it. Maybe, this is the time to sell all your stocks and get the hell out. But we got interest rates going down. We got a president that's tokenizing the world. I mean, Brentster, you're on the sidelines here. Just, read the tea leaves here. Is the party over officially on October 8th, 2025? Probably not.
Somebody shared a stat from Ryan Dietrich earlier. The bull market turns, it was EKS earlier. Thank you, EKS. The bull market turns 3 this Sunday. Just a reminder that the 5 previous bull markets going back the past 50 years that made it this far kept going. The shortest was 5 years. The average was 8 years, and 2 made it over 10 years. Thank you, Statman Ryan Dietrich.
Okay. So back to the playbook, which we outline. Good news equals buy. Bad news equals buy the dip. That's serious. That's not a joke. It's the serious playbook. That is making so much money. That right there. Those 2 things. Buying the dip on the bad news. And then if the good news is good, if you can be quick enough, it goes. That's it. That's where we're at. Yeah, that was the dip. Josh likes trading. That was the dip yesterday. You got 50 handle dip. Congratulations. That's what we get now. We get 0.8%. We can't even get a 1% dip. We only get 0.8% now. That's where we're at. So ASTS moving up. Joel, give us some levels. Is there anything that's levels? Because stocks all-time highs. How can you do levels on stocks all-time highs? There's an offering price that's going to come in here, though. Like I believe tonight. Because they did do an offering. So I guess the question is, where that price is going to be. It's going to be a hell of a lot higher than what they thought it was going to be, though, after this contract. Company's smart. Haven't done the offering price. Yeah, let's get a contract in there, launch this thing, and now we'll really get it off at a good price, this offering.
Wow. Brent says there's no material, terms to that deal that it mentioned.
I looked in the press release. Let me just double check. Yeah, I don't see any value mentioned. And as far as I know, companies are required to disclose terms if they are going to be material. Maybe they don't have the foresight here to give terms, but I think they have to mention that. So I think that according to ASTS, they don't see this as a material deal. Just something to keep in mind.
Okay. Well, based on that, if your target is 83.30, pre-market high 83.66, if this was your target, Well, forget your target. Get out there, buy more, take out the 84, sell it at 85, 86, 87. Nope, that's not investment advice. I'd say if
Probably
this is
works
your
though.
target area, what the only thing these kind of setups I say is, do you take out the pre-market high? How far do you go through the pre-market high? If you come back down through the pre-market high, well, maybe you should look to either lighten up or try and protect some gains. The fact that this offering is still lingering out there, they must be licking their chops, because when it broke yesterday down to 67, the low was 67.11. I'm like, maybe they'll do it at 67. And then it went at 68, 69, 70, 71. So where could they get it off now? Could they get it off at $80 now?
Yeah.
After this other contract?
That's actually really good management to do an offering and then announce a contract. That's really smart, actually. That is good. That is good. You get the offering price a lot higher. That's really smart. I'm bullish the management of this company. That's smart.
Well, I can tell you what, I'm trying to get someone from the C-suite there. He's I have a contact he's a Michigan man. So man, if you would have known, man, it's a Michigan man. It's I'm not sure what his actual position is, but he's pretty high up on the C-suite. So I'm gonna try and get someone on from AST Space Mobile. Was this a SPAC back in the day?
I don't know.
It kind of looks.
Does it look like it just hung around 10 forever?
It did.
Yeah, it does. No, maybe not. I don't know. I see 2. This thing was $2.
Yeah, was this a SPAC?
I don't think this was a SPAC.
No.
Mitch says yes. Money Mitch knows. He ran SPACs attack.
Okay.
Yeah,
never a good Mitch on SPACs.
Good call, Joe.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
What about Joby? So Joby overnight does an offering too. They've hit that thing down pretty hard here. We did get pricing of it last night, actually.
Yeah, 1685, right?
And they come right to it. Magnet to it. But look how it holds it. You think you just buy it off this? Is it bullish enough, this market, that this is when you're going to come in, buy the dip too? I mean, I just gave the playbook, to buy the dip on pretty much everything. It's an offering, 1685. It's dilutive. It's not good for the company long term, but or maybe it is because they're raising money, but maybe it's it's dilutive short term. So usually the stocks go down, but in this case, holding the 1685 really well. Thoughts, Joel, technicals on Joby?
1685 is support or resistance.
It's a magnet. It's a magnet. Yeah. Starts getting away from there, starts holding that. That's your level. That's the level to be looking at here. It's not as sexy of a story, though, as like the Rockets, because Joby, so they kind of just put all these things together, but they're not really one of the same. Like ASTS, Rocket Labs is like, more satellites, rockets. Joby is like transportation with helicopters, isn't it? Like, isn't that what Joby Aviation, drone transportation, helicopters? Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
I've traded a million times. You don't need to know what stocks do in this market, but Joby, I believe, is like the drone helicopter.
Yeah, air taxi. That the acronym is EVTOL, vertical takeoff and landing, electric.
Yeah, it's kind of not the same. But again, we didn't make new highs here either, so you don't like the 20 resistance here. 20 resistance doesn't look as sexy as the ASTS did. We'll say that much.
I mean, they put it in with peers as Delta, UAL, and Love. I don't really see it.
It's just dumb. I don't know who put it in with peers with that.
But what I would say, just past performance doesn't indicate future results, but buying a lot of these offerings has been pretty good results. And I know I say the SoFi at 2072, and I know I say the NBIS at 92. That took a couple days, but so far in this market, in this current market environment, those offerings have been pretty good deals.
Here's a headline. So I gotta just give this one because we're talking the AI headlines. MYSE. I've never heard of this stock. Mycem. MYSE plans fall launch of picture party platform with anti-AI technology. I've never seen that one. Anti-AI technology. Stock gets no pop whatsoever. Anti-AI technology. So I guess, like when I read into it here, it says New Jersey-based company said the platform will feature encryption proprietary privacy technology designed to prevent user content from being absorbed into AI training data sheets. They put anti-AI technology.
Boy,
That's a
what
new
are
one.
they doing?
I've never seen that one.
Boy,
They're not going to pop the stock, not anti-AI technology. If they would have left the anti out, the stock would be at $5 right now. But they put anti-AI technology, which I kind of respect that. I actually respect what they're trying to do. You know, protect themselves from like botting, like Twitter's become. It's all just AI.
That's what it is. It's
That's
like
what they're trying to. I actually respect this company. I almost want to invest in this company just because I respect them more for this.
Consider it like a cybersecurity for AI.
Yeah, I respect them more for this. But I tell you, the bots don't. There was no algorithmic action on that whatsoever. Could you imagine if that headline was Museum plans fall launch a picture party with AI technology? The stock would just blast because the algos just see AI technology and they go boom. But anti-AI technology, like, ooh, no. One wonder they didn't sell it off.
Well, you got a level. I mean, double top at 285. So if you're looking for a little bit of a breakout, I think I will call the company and I will tell them to add tokenization with use of NVIDIA chips. Yeah, with NVIDIA chips.
Yeah, tokenization
Whatever they're doing
with use of NVIDIA chips, and
yeah.
we are advancing AI tech. Yeah, we're advancing AI technology through tokenization and the blockchain with the use of NVIDIA chips. There's the perfect
yes.
boomer for all you algos out there, because the whole damn thing is just
we're
algos.
Giving them their Dennis. You're writing their programs for them.
We're giving it all away. We're like running the media, social media of all these companies here now. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna get hired on. Somebody's gonna hire us for this.
To all the users from the Stock Trader Network in the chat, we tricked you. You thought you were joining a stock trading chat room. Actually, we're turning into a media relations company. We're going to give consultancy on media relation, and all the users are going to help us. Yep. Thank you, Stock Trader Network.
That's it. Put the disclaimer up there. We'll get the disclaimer up there. AMD gets the double upgrade today. They can't help themselves. They're coming in. It's DZ Bank upgrading AMD and DBS Bank upgrading AMD. So a couple European banks getting on the AMD bandwagon here. It was Goldman Sachs be up $10, but nobody over here cares about the European banks or the foreign banks. So it's barely up here. Thoughts on AMD? Inside day yesterday, Joel, after the big move. I mean, I kind of feels Oracle-ish, meaning I feel like we may have seen the top, the 226. I'm talking against my book. I have a big position in the long-term portfolio in AMD. But it kind of feels like a little bit Oracle-ish, where I wouldn't want to see it lose the previous day's low of 203. Like, I think this could be back under 200 again.
Yeah, I know I don't like discussing, selling anything, but I don't know if I'd be buying up here. I definitely wouldn't be, starting a new long up in here, this area. I just think, just based on this Oracle move, I mean, you are almost back to the 50-day moving average. Okay. Still got a ways to go on the gap fill. They lost. I mean, the news yesterday of them having problems renting NVIDIA chips. So they hit Oracle on that. I don't know. NVIDIA was the one that has the chips, but anyways, it's just a tough trade because it's going into the gap and then it gets pops and then it goes back into the gap and gets pops. So, right now it's coming down. I think next, $20 away. It seems far away at that 50-day moving average, but when it was traded 340, it actually made, if you want to transcribe these charts, I'll have to change this to a different time frame. But right now, it's looking exactly the same here. AMD, right? Made the high.
It looks Oracle. It looks like Oracle.
Yep. Oracle did have a green bar that day. The only thing that means is, it closed higher than where it opened. But, look at this bar here. But we'll see if it can hold the gap area. I was trying to lean a little bit bearish yesterday in it, but it had a wicked pop off the open. So we'll keep an eye on AMD. Let's see. It posted you got a good number now after all the shake and bake and everything. 211.51. That was the closing high for the move. You're above that. Let's see if the bulls can improve on it. Soft number, inside day. Let's see what happens in AM. I mean, these upgrades to me are this like so late that it's really hard to pay attention to.
Okay, well, let's do one that's a contrarian call because not a lot of contrarian analysts out there right now. But HSBC downgrades Intel to reduce. They lower their price target from 24 to, no, they raised the price target actually. It was 21 and a quarter. They raised it up to 24. The analyst comments, Intel has recently announced 3 deals driving a substantial re-rating of the stock. The SoftBank deal, the U.S. administration investing $11.1 billion for a 9.9% stake. That was the big one. And NVIDIA investing $5 billion for a 4% stake. While the deals were at a discount to the market price, the stock is up 55% since the first deal in August was announced. We expect further deal announcements that could drive a short-term re-rating. However, we believe that Intel's own fab execution remains key to any sustainable turnaround. Hence, we believe that this re-rating is overdone, and we downgrade our rating on Intel to reduce. So basically, they said, it's still Intel. This is what I've been saying. I mean, we could keep buying it up because everybody's putting stakes in there, but we're still crappy Intel with the same crappy management that has underperformed this company, like made this company underperform forever. Intel inside has become, and nobody wants Intel inside. So how do they change that, consumer mindset here? Does the U.S. government change all that? I don't know if it does. So I kind of agree with this. I think Intel's a selling opportunity here too, but also there's the risk that, hey, they're going to get another investment. Another investment's going to pop, because that's what it's been doing. But really, there's nothing fundamentally different about this other than the U.S. government has a stake.
Triple bottom, 36.40. I mean, you're 60 cents off that right there. Buyers stepping up in that area. So you're not there off the downgrade. I would just keep an eye on that area for any potential weakness. I mean, down 16 cents. High close of the move yesterday, 37.30. So got 2 closes right there, 37.13, 37.30. Trading in that area, but there's just established support here that you can't ignore. 36.40. Double top at 38.05 and 38.8 if you're looking for some resistance in Intel.
The biggest problem with this, what I just said and what the analyst said, though, is we're using logic. You can't use logic. The one thing that they do say in here, and here is the problem, we expect further deal announcements that could drive a short-term re-rating. Every time they get a deal, it's going to pop 5%. Whenever they get another, Taiwan Semiconductor, they're not investing. AMD is going to go, they're not investing. I mean, we're just at that market environment here that any type of investment from any firm is going to pop this thing 5% now. So that's the real risk to the short thesis. You don't make a lot of money shorting stocks in bull markets here, and we're still in a bull market. So unfortunately for you bears on Intel, that's probably
leaking. We're leaking, Dennis. We are leaking.
The rug pull.
Just get in and just buy the dip. Just get in there, buy the dip. No, we're off
the 10 o'clock turns. We always talk about this. Did it turn at 10 o'clock yesterday? It was later than that. It was, it didn't really turn till about 11, so it was late yesterday. But the afternoon rallies. We'll go into the morning sell-offs and the afternoon rallies because everybody wants to ramp up because they want to own them overnight because they know Robinhood and all the other retail traders will buy all the stocks overnight anyway, so they got to start buying and getting ahead of that. That's why we have the afternoon ramp and then the overnight run-up because everybody's buying those things overnight. So long, what we were saying, Brent, we're saying short at the open, long overnight. That's been kind of the trade. Long overnight still work.
Okay.
Fenster's on mute. Fenster, you never do that.
It was short during the day, long overnight. Short during the day, long overnight.
That's kind of been the play. Yeah, if you're going to short, don't do it overnight. Let's go get our guest in the background. Scott Devitt's ready to rock.
Scott Devitt joining us here on Pre-Market Prep, Managing Director of Equities over at Wedbush. Scott, how you doing today?
Morning, guys. Doing great.
Okay, so knock us off our bullish keister here. Let's just go big macro, go to the market, take all your market experiences and says, guys, slow down here. Slow down. The markets just don't go up forever, or do they?
They don't. The question is how long they do go up. I think I think that with the backdrop of declining rates and the momentum in businesses going into the end of the year, that things seem pretty clean into 2026. I would say something to look out for, in 26 is that as you get towards the back end of a few more cuts, and then the emergence of these consumer-facing companies that have spent massive amounts of capex in recent years, having that start to show up in depreciation in 2026, that you have two factors. One is that these kind of anecdotal use cases that have emerged in the economy relating to AI beginning to play out or not in 26, which could either lift or not lift revenue run rates for companies like Amazon and Meta and Alphabet. And then offsetting that, the possibility that operating expenses are going to rise at a faster pace than they have been, which means that you could, in some instances, see deleveraging, and that deleveraging from those businesses, that depending on how the macroeconomic conditions are at any given moment, could lead to a lessening of investment spend against this backdrop of kind of unending expectations for investment spend that we have right now, and that could be somewhat muting as we go into 2026. But we're pretty constructive overall. But I think that is the major risk, and something that could definitely slow things down pretty quickly.
I mean, there's definitely the spending going on. We're seeing the spending. We're seeing just outrageous amount of money being spent with different companies, Oracle, AMD. You're getting, just getting these tremendous pops. So are you giving it a little bit of a leash? Are you giving it first quarter of 26, second quarter of 26? Maybe have to wait to the second half of the year. All this stuff has to flow. When are they going to show a profit, and how are they going to show a profit?
So the guides, I suppose with 3Q earnings visibility into 2026, but certainly on 4Q results, when investors are focused on the year ahead, in February, is going to be critical. So I'll give you an example of Meta, which is a company that we think is very well positioned long-term and a huge beneficiary of AI, but is also likely entering a year in 26 where operating profits are going to grow at a slower pace than revenue. And that's because of the CapEx ramp the past 2+ years relating to AI. And that is something that the company signaled on the last quarter call in terms of operating expenses growing faster in 26 than 25. We'll likely reiterate on this call, and investors will slowly but surely begin to pay more attention to it as we enter 2026. So I think that the front half of 26 is a little better. I think some of these risks start to emerge as 26 plays out, but that 4Q earnings season particularly is going to be important in terms of how investors digest that likelihood. I use Meta as an example because it's one that kind of stands out in terms of just looking at consensus estimates for 26 for operating profit growth versus revenue.
Chart's not looking so good in Meta, considering what the market has done here, actually trading below the 50-day moving average. I mean, they were out there. They were spending the money here. So filled the earnings gap, I believe, that you had back from August here. Don't know if you have your price target handy here on Meta, but I mean, if you're looking at this compared to the market, this is not looking too good.
Our price target is 920, and
920. Okay.
Yeah, it's had such powerful overperformance in revenue growth. So where Meta's benefiting is integrating AI capabilities in terms of matching technology for advertising placement, which has really improved the business. At the same time, the company's been able to utilize technology within their engineering department to limit the need to add headcount growth. So whereas infrastructure spending ramp has been significant, the ability to control labor costs has become more prevalent as well, and that's an offset. Like I said, I think if you take a 3 to 5 year view of Meta, I think this business continues to compound. But as we're looking out over, say the next year, they're going to have to be able to get over that hurdle, either through the possibility that revenue overperforms by so much that investors can digest, a possible deleveraging period for a 1 year tenure, or that there's a little bit of a continued digestion, and you can see that, as you're mentioning, in the stock now, that investors are maybe preparing for that.
Just staying on Meta and then translating it to other stocks. Have you done any work on like the who, like, and when they started the ramp ups in the AI spending? To me, Meta was out there, heavy early and everything. So, are you going to use the indication of how Meta earnings are and what is derived from the AI spending as an indicator for the other stocks that maybe came a little bit later to the game?
So Meta had the metaverse spending, if you recall, and right, they were spending on something that hasn't really played out yet, but rhymes with AI, and that kind of predated the AI ramp, and so they already had an embedded cost in their business related to it. And then, if you remember, in 2022, it was the year of discipline, and for Meta, but really for everyone across the consumer technology space, because it was the digestion period of the COVID ramp. And then in 2023 is when this AI cycle really began. And so it's been, in terms of AI ramp, it's been kind of 23, 24, 25. So we're approaching 3 years now of incremental spend. And if you look at CapEx spending of Amazon, Meta, and Alphabet, they're in this kind of post 22 period, they're about 3x now what they were running exiting 2022. And because of the timing of that ramp and then how depreciation works, you're starting to get the linear effect of that begin to show up in 25, and we'll do so more in 26. If you're rank ordering those three companies particularly, I think the biggest effect may be on Meta, but Amazon and Alphabet also have significant CapEx ramps as well that they have to digest. It's just that the magnitude of it is slightly different than Meta.
Well, all right. Let's move on to Amazon here. Same scenario. If you're looking at this on a relative basis, I mean, it hit its all-time high back in August, pulled back below the 50-day moving average, consolidating here. I know we have a great support level here at 216. Now, we could talk about, we wanted these other stocks, and we wanted a more broad-based rally here. And those rallies, then the value and the other things, they seem to last a couple days here. But let's talk about Amazon here, making that all-time high, consolidating here at the 216, 220 area, below the 50-day moving average, as I mentioned here. What's the path moving forward here for Amazon?
We like Amazon the best of the mega caps in consumer internet at the moment, and the reasons why are that Alphabet until recently was dislocated, but that's now corrected. And the fear of Alphabet being an AI loser has kind of flipped to it being an AI winner again, which seems to happen every few months. And so Alphabet, while we still like it, is less interesting up here than it was before the 30+% move. And so I kind of view Alphabet and Meta as interchangeable. Amazon, if you look at over really any kind of even intermediate period of time, has been an underperformer of the mega caps. And that's because, one, the multiple of this business carried for many years, relative to its growth rate was higher because of the low margin profile and possibility for upside and excitement around projects when Jeff Bezos was at the helm. And as they've transitioned to a new leader and become more disciplined, some of that aura has faded away. And also, Amazon's AWS platform has been perceived as a laggard in terms of the build out. You now have new competitors. Amazon AWS was the dominant player in cloud. Google's viewed as being better positioned. Certainly Azure is as well. And then you have the emergence of new players like Oracle and CoreWeave that didn't even exist in this category 3, 4, 5 years ago. So what we think is that there's going to be a repairing of that kind of perception with Amazon and a stabilization in the multiple that could begin to accrete as we go in 26 and 27. And the reasons why are because retail and advertising continue to be dominant, and investors are not getting paid for that because of this narrative around AWS. Well, in 26, Amazon is going to begin to benefit from the ramp of its partner, Anthropic. Anthropic entered 25 with an annualized run rate of about $1 billion in revenue. 40 cents of every dollar of Anthropic revenue flows through to AWS revenue line. And so that 1 billion by the middle of this year went to 5 billion, is going to exit this year closer to 10. And so when you do the math on that, Anthropic alone in 26 is about 200 basis points of acceleration for AWS. So, AWS, we think, is going to start to be perceived again as sustaining its share and having accelerating trends with the possibility of some margin expansion as well. So we like that name the best and think it has the most likely opportunity for the narrative to flip from kind of neutralish now to positive again in the coming 12 months.
All right, a little bit different technical setup in Google. Late to the game, a little bit late to the game. Everything was rallying. What's wrong with Google? What's wrong with Google? And now here, as opposed to the other one, trading well above the 50-day moving average, off its all-time high here. But can't ignore the relative strength here in Google. I just think about the the YouTube and the potential for, what the overall value of that to the company is. Little double top in the last 2 days here, but Google waking up here. Time for a little breather, or they're gonna get their AI's better. I know that for sure. When I do some Google searches, their AI pops up. It's pretty darn good. Talk about your outlook for Google.
We like Google. I think is AI going to be somewhat dilutive to the search business over time? Well, certainly, if it didn't exist, or only Google benefited from it, then that would be a better situation. But you've had instances in the past where the emergence of Amazon Prime in the early 2000s, the emergence of Facebook as a company in the early 2010s, and that were going to be disruptive to search, and in fact were. You can't do A/B tests now, but in fact were, and Google's done just fine. AI is an amplified version of those examples, certainly, but as you highlighted, Alphabet's been making modifications to its process such that it's going to be a participant in that. When you go from 95% market share of one industry to something that's maybe 2/3 of another, it's still somewhat dilutive. But because the denominator is growing, meaning that the use cases that it's creating are creating a larger industry overall, we still think that Alphabet does well. I mean, I don't perceive Alphabet as being like the highest performing stock in the group or the broader technology landscape, but thinking of it as more something that compounds at a rate that's a good bit faster than the S&P 500 is a reasonable way to think about it here after this bounce. I mean, there was a great opportunity in it, in the mid ones when investors hated it. I think here it's more of like a 12 to 15% compounding business, and there'll be good periods, bad periods in that, just like the setup that we talked about with Meta. But over a 3-5 year period, that's kind of the way that we think of it.
Okay. One more. Uber did come out with a little bit of bad news today about potential handling of sexual harassment, and Street ignores it, bunching up here near triple digits. Nice move in Uber here. What's your outlook, short term and long term, for?
So, yeah, the good thing with that is when the cars drive themselves, you wouldn't have to worry about that anymore. But and I think that the cars driving themselves is somewhat of a problem for Uber as a platform over time. The company's done a phenomenal job of positioning itself as a partner to autonomous vehicles. But the way that we think the market will develop over time is that you're going to have a small number of highly scaled autonomous players. In the US, that will most likely be Waymo and Tesla. And when you have a marketplace like Uber that's benefited from extreme fragmentation, a single individual needs to worry about the cost of new brakes and an oil change, and Uber is able to, finagle their take rate in its own favor, and there's nothing that individual can do. The dynamics change when you're dealing with larger enterprises that are providing, vehicles in the network, and especially some of those players that don't need to use the network, like Tesla. Even Waymo, as it gets bigger, has the likelihood that it's more likely to go direct Waymo app than it is to use third-party distribution. So I think in the case of Uber, its best days are happening just prior to its worst days. And when technology, invades a category, as we do think that autonomous will in highly dense cities in coming years, it happens in an S-curve type fashion. And we're at the very beginning of that. So I don't know that it's going to be 3 months or 2 years. I think it will be well before 5 years that adoption curve begins and begins to become noticeable to Uber. And so we're quite bearish, and we have a neutral rating on it because I think I'd rather wait till you can see the whites of their eyes, if you will, in terms of when, say, Tesla gets the first approval to operate in a city without a human assist in the car or something, some catalyst like that. But for right now, we're quite cautious on it.
All right. Well, I respect your opinion very much. Scott Devitt, Managing Director of Equities over there at Wedbush Securities, joining us on Pre-Market Prep. Always great to talk to you. Like your two-sided perspective on the market. We need that, and we'll be dialing you up again before the end of the year.
Thanks, Joel. See you later.
All right. Triple D hiding in the background there.
No, I'm here.
What about the bearish Uber call, Dennis?
There. What's that?
Bearish Uber call.
Well, I've been bearish for a long time and wrong on Uber. Again, there's a pattern here I'm recognizing. When I'm bearish, I'm wrong. When I'm bullish, I'm right. I'm just kind of recognizing that pattern here. So no sense, I agree completely with Scott. Everything he was saying makes a lot of sense to me from a logic perspective. The problem is in this current tape that we're in right now, the market is not trading on logic. One day it will again, and one day Scott will be right. And I do believe the long-term path for Uber is not going to be as nice as it's been in the last few years here. I think there's going to be some disruption here. But again, you can't argue with the chart. Stock's still been going straight up.
Yep. It's positive here at the $100 level. Someone's piecing out at 100. They're just leaving their offers there. We will just look at the all-time closing high, and that is closed over 100 one time, 10010. So that's get a couple closes over 100. Nice base, and we'll see what happens. Who's been hanging in there is Lyft. And trying to fill the gap, had the big move after earnings here, up a nickel, so that's pulling back. But Lyft is 14 to 21 over the
It
past
helped.
couple
They got the
months.
headline with Waymo there a few weeks ago. That's really helped them too, and gets them back on the hey, we're going to be involved with autonomy as well. I mean, they need these partnerships. Lyft and Uber need the partnerships because they don't have the technology on their own. Especially Uber was, and they spun some of it off. They were trying to even go there. So they're going to need these partnerships. They're going to need to figure out how to partner with Tesla too. The problem with Tesla and Musk is I don't think he's going to partner.
He's not partnering with nobody.
I don't. Why? He doesn't need to. I'm surprised like Waymo doesn't say, why do we need you? Like, you can't develop an app? I mean, it's Google, for crying out loud. Of course they can develop an app. I'm not sure why. I can clearly see Uber and Lyft need Google and Tesla. I don't see why Tesla and Google need Uber and Lyft. Why not just disrupt them and kill them? Like, why not? Like maybe they're too nice. Maybe they think they can make more money like this. I think they'd make more money if they're using their own damn app. So, but I know like they're partnering in there, now you can get autonomous, ride share. You can get a Waymo on your Uber. I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing that. Now, I wouldn't do that. I'm maybe too not nice enough, I guess. But I just go for the jugular. I wouldn't give them a handout. I wouldn't give them a lift. Pun intended. Okay. That's that story. So I agree with Scott, but the market is just,
it's hard to fight the trend, right?
Yeah, Confluence, CFL2, we didn't cover this. Rumors, they're going to sell themselves. Doesn't say anything about, like, rumor that they want to put themselves for sale. So, considering a sale. It doesn't mean there's buyers there. It doesn't mean there's something imminent. It just means that, hey, we're considering selling ourselves. So, I mean, maybe private equity, to say private equity firms are looking near this from Reuters. Stock is up 15%. Stock is filling the gap here, Joel. You love your gap trades. I mean, you get up near 26. I don't know. This is, you know, again, something might materialize. Maybe it does get bought, but we know on these rumors a lot of times they don't materialize, and they're more selling opportunities than they are buying opportunities.
Yeah, boy, they must not have much confidence in their company here. The move in 21, you know, notwithstanding, right? Everything went ballistic, but just been a horrible performer since then. Last earnings just, you know, punched the bulls in the face. With these kind of things, I like to. What's going to happen? What's the company say? Who's going to emerge? Who are the buyers? And right now, we're not hearing that. Right now, price over 25 was enough for people to take profits that have been buying the dip in it. So I would just keep an eye on that. Don't know if I'd be chasing it up 317. And once again, if there's a deal on the table, shouldn't we be hearing something from somebody or some competition or something going on? So right now, people have used that pop to sell the stock over $25.
Couple other ones here just to talk about. I want to cover CCCX from yesterday because the stock has gone parabolic here. Citron obviously is the pumper here, moving the stock up significantly off of their tweets. They're talking about it, you know, in comparison, and they've been going on this thing for a little while here now. Also, Steve Grasso bought some stock yesterday, he said, so that can be a catalyst as well. It's just gone parabolic. It's gone crazy. It's still a SPAC. It's going to become, I don't even know what companies it's going to become. What is this going to become? Churchill CCCX is going to become company. Let's go find
tokenized AI company that uses NVIDIA chips.
Maybe. What are they going to do? It's going to become some type of quantum company is what it is.
It's called
Inflection.
Yep. Inflection. Yep.
Yeah. So Citron was saying this is the quantum play. This is the cheaper quantum play than the other quantum plays out there. I don't know anything about that. I do know Andrew Left does good research, but you know, you say quantum and people get all excited. And Citron started talking about this thing a few days ago. They've taken it from 13 to 19. The power of Citron is absolutely incredible. There it is. The bubble burster is now the bubble inflator.
Yeah, he's been going out both ways on stocks.
He only goes up now. He doesn't go both ways anymore. He gave up shorting. Just inflates the bubbles now.
Did he
have a short lately?
Palantir. He did.
Did he? Or did he just comment on it? Or did he actually?
I don't know. I mean,
he got spooked after GameStop on the short side.
Yeah, I thought he had some. I don't know. Maybe it was just bearish comments on it, but I believe it was right around here. It came off the high. But looking at the CCCX, let's keep the
C's.
3 C's and an X. Sustain a 19 bid and you'll make a believer out of me. Yesterday's high 19 backed off to close below that area, but can we go Kenny Glick? Yeah, you hold 19, you go to 20. You hold 20, you're going to 25. 25, you go to 100. No, I just like to see a sustained 19 bid here. And if you are so inclined to short a stock like this, the people that are short at the mark from yesterday probably have their bids out a little higher than 1823. Good volume. The bump up in volume on Monday, better volume on Tuesday. So buyers still coming in. So if you're looking for a cool off period or a little consolidation, maybe for a turn south, you don't have it yet in this issue.
Webull tanking here this morning. We got to have these in our calendar, Brentster. 180-day lockup expired today. And they just hammer it. They hammered it yesterday into it, and now they hammer again into it here too. I guess it's very important to know these dates here in advance because I didn't know the 180-day expired here today, but just like clockwork, stock goes down on that. So we do have the old 10s always seem to lend support to these SPACs, these former SPACs. So I don't know if you're going to 10. That would be a crazy move.
No.
But I mean, if it got down there, I think 10's a no-brainer buy, in my opinion.
I don't think you're going to get to 10. Maybe. I mean, you know,
Well,
nothing.
not today. I don't know if we're
this
getting there
chart
either.
I hate this
but-
chart. I am gonna call TradeStation and I'm just gonna tell them I hate this chart. I mean,
Just get rid
because
this
of
chart.
that high at 79.56. I mean, there's been some good trading action in this thing, and it's not really reflected. I will just say last month you are through last month's low here at 12.54, traded down to 12, under 12 in the pre-market. I'll tell you, I'd like to see this stay down here, consolidate, you know, lows 11.7.
What just happened with Cisco?
Cisco Kid,
Yeah, it just exploded.
good news. Some good news just came out on Cisco.
Something happened with Cisco. Brentster, dig. Dig, Brentster, dig.
Dig. It looks, is it halted?
No, it just ran up $1.50.
It did, but I
It's
just see
CFCO.
70.26 just kind of stuck.
Obviously, they just had a press release, so they said something.
Said
We're going
something
digging.
good. 70.20.
gonna
Oh,
find
get
out.
rid of that tick chart. Holy mackerel. How did I get that on there? Let's get the 15-minute.
Gotta be something here. Cisco, give us some news.
Dig,
Dig in
Brent,
here.
dig. As Opie used to say, I'm going to sit on this trading desk, sitting Indian style until I find.
Did they listen to us and say that they're tokenizing using the blockchain and NVIDIA chips? Like, that's a crazy move up for Cisco. That just
it is a crazy move.
It was right at 9 o'clock too. Usually it's a 9 o'clock news dump. Like, so there's usually
it's 9:02. Wow. I'll just give you a number.
Cisco seeks to challenge Broadcom in connecting AI data centers. Christian from Hertz with the call here from Bloomberg. Thank you, CF.
60, you just hit 70, 79 on that pop. This high that's sticking out here is 70.61. So potential, that's all you can give in this market, is potential resistance. We're running overtime here. We got to get over to the STN room and see what's going on with those opening orders. We're going to talk crypto tomorrow. Crypto Corner. We're going to bring back a former editor at Benzinga, is now running the Block newsletter for blockchain. Jason Chubbs now will be joining us, folks. Everyone have a great Wednesday. Back with you tomorrow.